Now, it's very clear that the first Descendant has been making a ton of positive changes since the last open beta back in September of 2023. A lot of these changes address many of the issues players like myself had with the game, be it performance, open world changes, general gameplay, or many other aspects that needed improvements. There's no doubt the team has made massive strides to make the game a lot better. If you haven't been keeping up with the full list of changes, I'll have that linked down in the description. With all that said, I feel like the first Descendant is missing a few things to really push the game to the next level, so let's actually go over what I think needs to be added. What is up everybody, welcome back to Fervor Gaming, where you can stay up to date on the latest in gaming. This includes news, builds, and guides just like you see in today's video. If you like the content you see here today and want to help the channel out, drop me a like to get this video out to other gaming fans, but if it wasn't for you, change it to a dislike. The first change or improvement that needs to happen is one that's very likely will happen soon, and that is the addition of new Descendants. The reason I want to bring this up first is that it makes a lot of sense for my next needed improvement, but also there's an extreme lack of a few roles that really will help. While I know the teams that they'll be working on mod diversity, I think it's healthy to have a few other Descendants that can fill these roles. For now, we have Jaber, who is the only Descendant that I know that can heal for now. While he does it very well, there is definitely a lack of healers to really give players that versatility to make more choices. This extends to debuffers as well. While we do have Vyessa, who can drop her Blizzard, which does a powerful debuff on enemies defense by 25%, there again is a massive lack of that role, and we definitely need more debuffers. Ajax and Kyle are really decent tanks, so an additional one can really help to go a long way in that diversity, but the rest are pretty much damage dealers, and while I do think Descendants should have the ability to deal high damage, I like to see more Descendants with better utility, and the addition of new Descendants can really fill that role. Again, I'm sure we'll see this in the future, but something worth mentioning. Now onto something that 100% needs to be in the game: unique dungeons and raids. I know we already have Void Intercept missions, and while they are amazing and will be expanded on, we need a bit more in terms of variety of content. I think having the ability to queue into unique dungeons that drop a completely different set of items than the ones that we already have would be really nice. I know there's a few zones we haven't seen as of yet, so there very well could be a lot of cool dungeons, but I doubt they'll be extremely detailed compared to a full-fledged dungeon designed just specifically for it. Maybe even something that requires a different way to get into it, maybe something from Albion like a ship or something, but this would be a really nice addition. This would also be the case for something like raids. I would love to see 6 to 8 Descendants jump into a handcrafted mission and face off against unique bosses that have mechanics in multiple phases. The phases don't necessarily need to be like phase 1 or phase 2 like in Dark Souls or anything like that, but more of the boss retreat and go to different parts of the dungeon, or you need to do multiple raids to face off against a very specific enemy that is very strong in the story. Like I said in the previous thing that needs to be added to the game, having a bit more diversity in roles and having more Descendants to fill those said roles could really help in giving players more option to deal with these raids. Obviously, having Jaber would be mandatory. Even Vyessa for her 25% defense debuff can go a long way, but until we get more new Descendants, early on these are going to be a little bit more mandatory, but that need of having more Descendants is very obvious for this one. This can actually extend to Void Intercept battles as well, making Void Intercept raids. You can go in with 6 to 8 different Descendants and face off against much stronger bosses or multiples. That would be really cool. Just things like that. But again, an awesome idea in my opinion. Next would be chase items. Now I know there are blueprints available in the game now that let you craft certain weapons and items, and while they are great, I like to see proper chase items. It could be available in those special dungeons and raids we talked about a second ago. There could be a very cool and unique weapon called the Unknown, for example, that has like 4 deterministic stats, but an open slot for you to swap out certain stats, making it a really great option due to the flexibility of being able to change stats. A unique weapon that looks like a lightsaber or something, you know, cool stuff like that. Pretty much an incentive that gives players something to chase after that really keeps them in the game and engaged. I don't want these to be something that devalues non-unique gear, as these can be a bit power creepy in nature down the line, but I find having a chase item to be something that really pushes players, including myself, to want to continue to play and have more experiences within these dungeons. Another change I like to see come to the first Descendant is the addition of the open world having a bit more life. I know they again have made some huge updates in the open world with the Dev Note 8 update, There's some things I'd like to see added that wasn't necessarily mentioned in those notes that would be a massive improvement to the world. The first would be flying ships. They don't necessarily need to always be attacking you specifically or anything like that. It would be cool, of course, if they did, but having the feeling of the world being alive and the enemy being a threat is very important. So seeing the casual carrier flying over or off in the distance can really add to the ambience of the game. This would also extend to the wildlife in the area. I'm not saying there needs to be like deers or something in every area of the map, but having like a hostile flying dragon-like alien creature or something like birds just kinda in the area. They don't necessarily need to attack. This could add to the world, making it feel more lively and engaging. Finally, to wrap things up, because I don't want this video to be too long, I'd like to see some proper form of clan or guild system in the game with like proper guild bases or ships or something like that. It would be nice to have a target dummy where we can test our gear and test our mods properly, a research facility for rare modules and upgrades and just general gear like that, and also having a place where you can interact with guild mates and just socialize. One of the things that the first Descendant actually suffers from that no one talks about is the lack of the social aspect, and this could actually help with engagement. Maybe have a guild hall with mini games and different things going on within it, that training dummy we talked about a second ago, just stuff like that to really improve the social aspect of the game. The addition of a proper guild would be a really nice addition. Anyways, that is my brief breakdown of what I like to see in the first Descendant. I get a feeling most, if not all of this, will be added in some capacity to the game. Maybe not the weapon called the Unknown I mentioned, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of these changes in the near future. Let me know down in the comments what you like to see in the first Descendant, whether it be a big or small change or whatever it is. They all matter. The devs actually seem to take feedback, so they very well could implement it down the line. Don't forget to check out the latest news and videos related to the first Descendant down in the description alongside the Discord, and drop me a like to help get this video out to other Descendants, and I'll see you guys in the next one.